How's it going, everybody? ET back at it again. So the whole point of this video is, one, I'm taking the S197 out, but what I ultimately wanted to ask was, is the 2013-2014 specifically S197 still worth it to this day to buy in 2025? So kind of want to make this video to, you know, persuade y'all if y'all are looking to getting into the Mustang scene, and you have so many platforms to work with, especially the, you know, the S197, the S550, and then the S650 that ended up coming out. So this is gonna basically be a whole review. Is the car worth it? What's the goods? What's the bads? You know, is it still relevant? So I'm gonna see if I can change y'all's mind, or, you know, maybe help y'all and educate y'all just a little bit about the car, as I've had it already for over a year now. So let's see how it goes. Previously stated, I know I made some videos and stuff, but kind of redoing it because I didn't really I was all over the place, and I just want to specifically talk about the pros and cons. I was kind of rambling on about a story, which I'm probably not going to even put in this video, probably a later time, but ultimately I just wanted to give y'all an actual pros and cons about this car. Now, as far as the 13-14, right, everything that I say that is necessarily a bad thing, or like is a con, especially about this car, is something that can be fixed, and just fixed with a better part for the performance wise. So I just don't want y'all to think all the cons is basically, is I was kind of like reviewing it. It potentially looks like as if there's more cons than there actually is good things. So I just want to keep y'all in mind, just when y'all are getting the S197 platform, yes, it has its minor, you know, defects and stuff like that that can be upgraded, but those are things that can be changed out to be better. I'm just saying, as far as stock wise, this is something coming from me with a supercharged on it, what I would do differently. So here we go. So my con, right, what I would end up doing is, first we're gonna start with the interior. I think for the interior wise, yes, it is outdated, but yet it is not that old, to be honest. It's something that can definitely be changed out, as far as these interlays, Zeta Composites, and Dyna Performance. I believe they have some good, nice kits that they have. Me personally, if you're looking for a budget, like myself, I was just looking for the just normal carbon fiber, nothing really specifically as far as like the other two competitors. What they ended up doing was they could do flakes on your deal. So like the carbon fiber with blue flakes, red flakes, whatever color, honeycomb, they have different options. But as far as me, I just wanted to just keep a clean and carbon fiber interior. And when it came down to, you know, having issues with this kit from Amazon, they have the whole piece from literally front to back almost. The lifting on the air vent over there is the only issue I really ran by. They come with everything as far as what you're gonna need, the adhesive to help make the overlay stick a lot better, but other than that, I would say that's the only part that I've had an actual issue with. But for me, I just keep pressing it down here and there. Doesn't really bother me. It's literally on the opposite end of the car. But if you're kind of a freak about those things, everything ticks you off or kind of messes with you, of course you can always just replace it. And I think they got that kit for like $150. The second thing, and I think this is the only thing that cannot be fixed probably, is going to be these cup holders. When I am shifting on a manual car, when I'm shifting, if I have a cup there, there is no good way, and some guy that wants to be showing off, it's going to be a little difficult. I've done it before, but it's a little difficult when you got the drinks and everything in here and it is in the way. I would say that's my only con that cannot be fixed. I don't know if there's any way around that. My next con is going to end up being the rear, is the suspension for the car. Now, as far as, you know, the prior owner having this car, he did not beef up the suspension at all. Everything is a stock component, or kind of a cheaply made, or just a cheaper option, which when you're going into power especially 500, honestly even 400 really, you want to have some good suspension. I know it's a little rough here and there on the bumps and stuff, but like, you know, not touching this car for suspension parts is like kind of crazy. So I think that's one thing that, you know, needs to be changed out all the way around. For me, I have the Steeda, White Line, and BMR. Those are the only 3 things that are on this car pretty much. I kind of want to keep in the family. Yes, overall you want to keep it the same, but yet for me there were some things that I heard great things about White Line that I didn't hear from Steeda, and then vice versa. So those are the only things. And yes, some of the things have been because of the reason of the budget. Can't just overspend. But I wasn't a fan of the adjustables. I just wanted something I can just kind of plug and play and get in there, rather than kind of adjusting and doing the whole 9 yards for that. So that was something that I kept in mind. Now for sure, if you have the money, I would suggest everything is adjustable as far as control arms, sway bars, panhard bars, upper control arms, stuff like that. So that's where I'm at with that. So while I'm getting gas, I was speaking upon suspension, interior, and then the other thing I would honestly just have to say is the capability of the Gen 1 motor. Honestly, it can push a lot of power, but as far as stock form, it's what I've heard is about rated about 700, and then kind of reliability 10 things are gonna end up breaking. But that's overall with everything. I think when you apply power adder to any car, you're kind of throwing out the reliability. As far as Mustangs, they love boost. Like I said, I think Camaro or just LS's are known for the NA. They're NA kings as far as boosted. Coyotes win. Hellcats, they're beautiful cars. Or Scat Packs, the wide body, I just think they look good. And so yeah, I would say those are ultimately my 3 only cons about the car. But like I said, they're not really necessarily they're not that bad. You just gotta fix them. Those are just changing the parts, and you just gotta fix it just like that. But overall, to this day, I would still, Gen 1s can still compete with other cars. Now you got your Gen 2s, Gen 3s, S550s, and stuff like that. With power adders, oh yeah, they're gonna blow the smoke out of it. Some NA can even hang with these cars, but other than that, you know, when it comes to Corvettes, when it comes to Camaros, I even had it with a Porsche one day. I'm not too sure what spec, but I was running real close with it. I think overall, like, this car has a lot of capability of running with some cars that y'all didn't think that this would. Being Roush as being one of the kind of kits that has like is a safety kit, not the best kit as far as, I'm gonna be honest, this is my preference, as what I hear from VMP, and then of course Whipple, right? But ultimately they do a phenomenal job, and it's something that as this low end it can compete with a lot. So those would be my kind of cons for this car. Alrighty, so now what are some of the pros for this Gen 1 1314 Mustang here? Okay, so, you know, a lot of people, I would say, you know, it's a mixed match. A lot of people's preferences are going to be the S550, S650, the Gen 1s and stuff. But personally for me, I think, and a lot of people can say, that the Gen 1 style, body style, is like the masterpiece of Ford. Especially the, you know, the Super Snake and the GT500. Like, this style is like just known for Ford, and ultimately I think they did a phenomenal job with this thing. The only kicker is, I mean, overall you can see a lot of good cars in good condition, and for the price range, ultimately I think it's affordable to get into the sports car scene, or just car scene in general, the Mustang scene, for, you know, for a low price. Ultimately, what I've seen on Facebook Marketplace is generally you'll see a Mustang in the category between, you know, there's high mileage ones. Well, I think what high mileage is, of course, 100,000 miles. But, you know, these Gen 1's motors are capable, if you treat it right, they'll run a long time. For me, you can generally see the range of these Mustangs between 20,000 to 28,000 for, you know, a decent mileage car. Doesn't have a lot of wear and tear. Of course, it's a 13, 14, almost running nearly now 11 to 12-year-old car. I think does a phenomenal job. So with that, I just want y'all to know this is an affordable car. Yes, 20,000, 25,000 is a lot of money. For this car, I was lucky enough to find it in Dallas for 26,000. Of course, there was there had some stuff going on, so I was able to lower the price. I think I ended up purchasing it for 24,000 for a supercharged S197. So, you know, of course they say, you know, when you put on supercharged and stuff, you throw on a $10,000 Whipple, it's obviously not going to be priced as much as that when you try to resell it. So I think they're very affordable, something you can get into very easily. The other thing is gonna be body style, like we said, and then ultimately I think it's a great sounding car. Like, probably gonna pick up a lot of wind on it, but like, the Gen 1 does sound great. I have the Cook's headers to an X-Pipe, resonators, and then a Corsa Sport muffler, dual tip. And they sound amazing. I don't know if they got it on the video, but they sound amazing. With that, I think overall maintenance on this thing is a lot easier than some other cars. For me, I've been working on this car non-stop, trying to make it better and better and better, just with different components I put as far as suspension, you know, doing my own oil changes. Everything is so easily attainable that I really haven't had any issues with. Now, as far as engine work, of course, I'm gonna leave that to the professionals. I'm not that professional to end up doing it, but one day I would like to build myself, you know, just in case if I ever decide to put a new motor into this thing, I definitely want to chase that build of a 321 build. And my other plan is to get another S197, but probably a Vortec Pro Charge on it, because ultimately that's the route that I want to go. Make sure everyone's braking. And I guess you could say the other con about this, well, it's not really the S197, but for a manual, is when traffic hits, it does kind of suck. You just gotta have patience. And I think really that's just the being aware. Like, of course, you're gonna get yourself a manual. There's gonna be traffic at some point, especially when you're in Austin, in San Antonio. Shoot, I think Dallas probably has one of the worst freaking traffic ever. You know, that's something that just to keep in mind. I love the fact that with these S197s, there's so many websites, there's so many places that offer a variety of things for these S197s. There is so much things you can do. They have a wide option of products, whether it comes from tires, wheels, suspension parts. Like, there's so much for this. There's not like two manufacturers that be like, alright, this is the only thing you can get for this. No, there is well known, a lot from cheap and of course to high price. So I think that's where the aftermarket of products is done a very good job with these S197s. That's what I enjoy, is just having a variety. I can choose what does for this, because ultimately everyone has their own looks, they have their own feels of what they want for their car. And you daily drivable as of right now, drivable car that you know, that can hook up on the street, do what I wanted to do, rather than some other people can be compared to. Oh, I want to take it to the track, I want to take it to the drag strip, I want to, you know, only be known for wanting to do this part or whatever. So everyone has like their own preferences and stuff. So I think just having a great aftermarket set of products for this car is great. And then just lastly, man, why I honestly think that the 25 or in year 2025 that this car is still a car that should be bought for newcomers, for people that just think, well, they should go with a new S550. No, I think for people who just love this car plain out, like they love the body style, they'll get it for this. But for the new people that are like wanting to get into cars, you know, what should my first car be? I recommend getting one of these 2013, 2014 Mustangs, because they have so much potential. They have so much. They have the aftermarket. They have the capability of you know, pushing the horsepower, but not to a limit where you're gonna end up, you know, hating yourself. That like, wow, why did I build an 800 horsepower car? Now, like, when you build it to 800 horsepower, you're not using necessarily all that to your potential. Yes, of course, there's gonna be some times, but it's like you're never capably gonna be using 800 wheel horsepower all the time. So ultimately, you know, when I was talking to the tuner, the mechanic that I go to at 210 Performance, you know, I was like, I want something that's daily driven, you know, something that's not going to be the slowest out there, that I just know kind of confidently I can pull up next to, or if they pull up next to me, we'll have a good run and stuff. So, you know, I got it around about 600, north of 600. That's where this car is tuned to, and ultimately I just know, like, I'm using all my 600. There's nothing more I really need, because ultimately you just run into more problems the more horsepower you end up going. So like I said, a great car like this that's capable of throwing something as far as a supercharger, a blower, will do a phenomenal job, just to spice things up. Aftermarket parts do a great job. The body style is perfect, and the affordability for the car. I don't really think, I mean, yes, there's other cars that are great out there, but if you're looking for a nice V8 muscle car out there, like for 22,000, 25,000, you can get your hands on a nice mid mileage, probably about 60, 70,000 miles, maybe 80,000 miles. You can get that for that price. You can even get lucky if you're even looking for one, and you just be patient like I did and find one up in Dallas for 24,000 with the supercharger on it. There's not a lot of cars out there that necessarily will go for that price, I'm gonna be honest. So yeah, other than that, just kind of want to get the drive on where I'm gonna end up going, but just want to give y'all the sound. Hopefully y'all don't catch a lot of wind on this, but ultimately I think personally, if you're looking to get into cars, looking to get a V8 specifically, I suggest you go test drive, you go look at an S197 13 to 14 year models. I love the 11 to 12, but they're just not, they're a little different, and I suggest Ford did a better job when they came out with it in 13 and 14. So go out, go look at one, price one up, and don't just think about local. See if you gotta travel. There's some good deals that are out there, and just do your research. Don't take my word for it necessarily 100%, but go do your research. I guarantee you'll love this car, and if not, then it's not for you. If you're looking for more power, go an S550 Gen 2 or Gen 3. But if you're looking for a nice suitable car, it looks good, yeah, there's quite a few around and stuff like that, but ultimately this is where you want to be. So overall, the end point, so the conclusion to the video now, as I kind of went over the pros and the cons of, you know, having an S197 Mustang, I ultimately believe with some time, you know, over time, with the money and time you spend with your car, you're just gonna personalize it and make it better the way you want it. I ultimately stand by it that it is a great starter car for someone who's interested in getting into the car community, get into a V8 especially, just because the aftermarket, the affordability, and all that ties in together. And you can just find it for a great price, and just with thousands and thousands of great products that are out there in these websites that you can just find. So overall, if you're feeling as if you're so undecisive, all you gotta do is just take a ride, go to a dealership, see if they have one, test drive one. What are you into? Automatic, a manual, whatever the case is. In 2025, I do believe the S197 is still a top dog car to have. You can mod it the way you want to, make great power, especially build it back to that 321 build. But overall, I think it's something that you should go out and at least see. So thank you for coming again, watching this video. If you stayed here, like and subscribe. Put something in the comments. I love reading the comments and stuff, so don't be a stranger, but appreciate it. See you on the next one.